there's no discouragement among people who understand that not every case is a case that can be solved quickly. In my view, they get solved. It's just a matter of time. In this case, will get solved too.
Rhode Island Attorney General Peter Nerona preaching patience as the manhunt for the Brown University shooter stretching into a 6th day. The AG projecting optimism that this case will get solved, even as questions and criticism regarding this investigation continuing to mount. Providence police also releasing this, a photograph of this individual who they say was, quote, in proximity of the person of interest. Anyone with any information about this individual depicted on your screen, encouraged to call the FBI tip line. Well, welcome in our panelists today. Jack Jupin is here, retired FBI supervisory special agent and a retired SWAT team supervisor with the Joint Terrorism Task Force. And Michael Gould is a retired NYPD lieutenant. Thank you both for being here. I do appreciate that. Jack, let me start with you. The Rhode Island Attorney General is still confident that this case will get solved. Obviously, the public would want that too. What is your assessment on how this has been handled thus far, and maybe your confidence level watching from your vantage point?
Yeah, I mean, as the Attorney General said, ideally most of these crimes do get solved eventually. That said, the longer that the time goes by, unfortunately, it makes it much more difficult for the investigators, for witnesses to recollect what they saw, what they heard. So it makes it's a challenge at best. Obviously, that individual who perpetrated this crime could probably be 2 blocks away, but he could also be 2 continents away already. It's going into day 6 or 7, I believe. And, that's a lot of time to lapse for an individual to make an escape to wherever he or she really wants to be. But obviously, I think we're looking for a middle-aged 30-year-old man.
Yeah, Michael, our own Sarah Williamson pressed the AG during Wednesday's press conference on why most of the security camera footage is being withheld from the public. Watch this exchange.
There is a lot of footage that could be gone through or controlled. There's 1,200 cameras that you say there are in the school. Why hasn't that just been released to the public?
Well, let me play devil's advocate. Would you like all of it?
Why not?
Well, because here's why. Because it doesn't tell us anything about who committed this crime yet. If we get a better image of who committed this crime, you'll have it. There is no effort to preclude the public, online investigators in the press, from getting to the result faster than we can. If you can identify this person faster than we can, have at it. But we are giving you the best evidence we can to identify this person.
If that's the best you got, that's not good enough. I mean, you got a killer on the loose. A testy response, Michael, obviously, from the AG. I mean, they have their own PR issue on their hand with how they handled this thus far. I get that. But you have someone who is armed and dangerous. That from officials, not me, who's still out there. And Lord knows where he is at this point. You're talking about day 6 or 7. They could be anywhere. And that was confirmed. Michael, your thoughts here?
Yeah, no, I completely agree. They could do a better job in their communications of this. Look, law enforcement walks a tightrope of releasing information not for investigative purposes. If they give out too much, it could jeopardize the case. If they give out too little, we all get suspicious. What's going on? We're so accustomed to things being resolved so quickly with digital technology that in the Luigi Mangione case, he left breadcrumbs of digital evidence from the crime scene to Central Park to a bus terminal. We don't have that here. It is a lack. This part about this old building didn't have cameras. It doesn't make sense. Old buildings can have new cameras. So there is a lack of what they're releasing as evidence, and that just makes us more questionable. And I understand that they have to be very careful. The second suspect, they're just saying he made contact with him. Hundreds of people made contact with him. What specifically do they want to know about this guy? And again, they could have they shouldn't be defensive in front of the news media.
That's what I was getting at. Yeah, the defensive thing, you want to back off from that. I mean, obviously, you need the public's help, and you fumbled the ball at the beginning. We saw that happen. If you want to work together, that's great, but you're not getting anything done arguing with the press on this. At this point, they're part of the investigation and helping and assisting. We're the ones airing it for you to put it out there. Jack, let me go back to you on they're not calling this person. Do we still have that photograph, by the way? This is from the police department. This is not a person of interest, is what they're saying, but this is a person that they believe has knowledge that was in proximity of the person of interest that we've seen on the surveillance footage. So those are two different people. This person, they say, hey, this just may be a witness and we just want to talk to them. Talk to us, Jack, about the strategy about approaching it that way versus saying, this is a suspect, look for this person, saying, hey, no, this could be a witness to the man on the left side of your screen in the surveillance footage. They may know something and they could help us. Jack, does that create a window of opportunity for investigators to get that person comfortable enough to come forward?
Yeah, as far as I'm concerned, everybody's a person of interest. I don't rule anything out. I never did rule anything out in my investigations in the past. You have to look at every little piece of evidence you get. We don't know what this individual's involvement may or may not be. As you said, if the individual has nothing to hide, then just come forward and come talk to authorities. But that being said, other people are going to know who that individual is. There's no doubt in my mind. Somebody knows who that is that's watching probably your show right now and looks at him and sees him and hopefully identifies him. You need to identify everybody in and around that crime scene area. And, no stone should be left unturned and nobody should be ruled out as a suspect.
FBI tip line, if you know who that individual is that is out there for you, you can call in with that information. Again, spanning between day 6 and day 7 on this investigation after 2 dead, 7 injured at Brown University there in Providence, Rhode Island. Jack Jupin joining us. Michael Gould, thank you very much.
Thank you.
So in his address to the nation, President Trump saying that the U.S. economy is bound to